Hi guys, John here, Mr. Forex Fire. So in today's video, which you're just about to be headed into in a second, you're going to see me trading the ICT methods that I'm learning. This is week 2, day 3, I believe. Okay, so far through the video, I actually took 2 losses and then I ended the video, but I've got an add-on at the end because I got an alert as I ended the video. So you need to stay on right to the very end because I got in on a trade and got some profits back. Again, overall, I lost a few dollars from what I made yesterday, but all in all, I got the alert, so I added a video on the end, which you will see, to give us some of the
for me anyway.
back.
I can sort of break things down and make it an easier approach, if that makes any sense. Been trading for about just over 5 years, and yeah, I do truly believe using the ICT concept and using certain methods to the trading plan and procedure that I've been doing, it's so good as long as you stay within your risk parameters. Okay, so we're just going to head over to the chart, and what I'm going to do is, so always forget to do this, put the screen cursor on. Now this is where we were yesterday. Okay, I'm just going to go to the settings, just take, that's positions. Is that the right one? Or executions? Take the executions off. And we're going to clear the lines now. This morning, I'm going to show you what I do from start to finish to try and make it, obviously follow along and take notes if you want to. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the GBP USD. We've got it in the 1 hour. Now on ICT, it always goes along with New York time. So New York time, when it gets to around about 4 a.m., that is the London Open. Again, you can see up here, it's 20 past 8 on a Wednesday morning, 25th of January. I've got the New York time set on here. Okay, so we've got a couple of indicators, kill zone boxes, and what the kill zone boxes do, it's going to show you the London Open and the New York Open. Okay, from there we have the ICT midnight, and what this is going to show you is the midnight open price, where these lines are. This is the midnight open price, and also I've got the GMT one. Okay, so if we get our line, the vertical line, and we place it on this line here, you will see it corresponds as we go down to the midnight. Okay, let's just take a look. As you can see in here, Wednesday, 25th of January, 2023, midnight. And there we are. We are on the 25th. Okay, right. Now, from there, I generally drop down to a 15 minutes. What I do on the 15 minutes, excuse me, I will put a couple of lines, horizontal rear. I go with the magnet, so we're making sure we're getting this on. So we've got, let's get my ugly mug out of the way. We've got today's high. Let's just see if I've got that. There's today's high. And I forgot to add this yesterday. So I just do that, copy it, and then I can save as, make it a template. So that's today's high, and then I want to put on the opposite, which is today's low. Now I do this generally as what it is on the 15 minutes. Now, if we look closer into this, you can see here, it says midnight. Okay, midnight just means what the price was opening at midnight. Okay, so at the moment we are ranging between a high and a low point of today. And funny enough, the midnight open is around about more or less near the 50%, okay? Underneath the today's low, you're going to see an 830 line. Now, what that 830 means is that is the opening of the New York session yesterday, okay? Now, there's a couple of methods I'm going to be bringing into our Discord community. One of them is obviously what I'm basing today off, which is today's high and today's low. The secondary one is based upon the previous day high, okay, and a previous day low method. So PDH for the previous day high. And these are similar methods in their own right, but obviously you're only going to be trading when we take a liquidity grab, okay? And I'll explain more in a short while. So we've got everything set out on a basket here. We've got, like I said, the midnight line. We've got a today's high and a today's low on the current day as we stand. But again, the criteria of the method is we are not going to trade until we come into the session, which the session on here is going to be the London kill zone. And once we get in the London kill zone, we are looking for a today's high or a today's low to be taken, okay? And from there, you're obviously waiting for that liquidity grab, which means the high or the low is taken. Once you get that liquidity grab, there will be a displacement that comes through that line of liquidity. And then as we get a return down and we break structure back in the opposite way, we're just looking for a fair value gap to be produced. Now, when that fair value gap is produced, we are looking to get in, and we need to see the entry from the fair value gap and have our target set on the limit order, which will all come to light once we get into that, okay? So as a rundown, just to show you, we started on the 1 hour. We highlighted the midnight open of today. We then dropped down to a 15-minute. We take a look to the right of the midnight line. I put a today's high and a today's low with the magnet on, so I've got it exact on that price. And then I also do the previous day high and, as I say, the opposite, which is the PDL, the previous day low, so we can see when there's going to be a liquidity grab. And what I'm going to do for today, just have a look. We'll set up the Euro USD. We got in on a trade on this yesterday, which gave us a nice 1 to 1.5, just about, okay? So again, we clear yesterday's charts off. We've got our 1 hour chart on. We've got the KZ boxes, the ICT midnight and 8:30 AM open. And I've got the ICT midnight in New York and GMT, okay? Those are the indicators I use. Once again, vertical line on the midnight. Dropped out to 15 minutes. We've got the magnet on, so we're going to go previous daily high. I should say today's high on the 15 minutes. So why is that not showing? Right, there we are. So today's high. We do the same here. Today's low. Today's low. And then we scroll back and we look for the previous daily high. Which I would just not leave in simply because obviously we broke the previous daily high. So I'm just going to delete that one out. I'm just going to add in the previous daily low this time around. And I'll explain why in a moment. So the previous daily low. The reason why I have not added the previous daily high, it's simply because we've already pushed through and took the liquidity. So if we look back on what we are doing, okay, put this trading plan in. Now the trading plan consists of a liquidity grab. Now you can see on here, the liquidity grab has been taken up on here. Okay, so that would be phase one. If I drop down to a 1 minute, and then what we're waiting for is a break of structure after the liquidity grab. Now we didn't get a break of structure here. We have got one here as we've come up. Obviously, we've got the today's high. There's been a break of structure here, and then this is going to show you the power of what I mean. So this here, okay, guys, we've got right there as we've come up to come through the previous day high. We've mitigated through it and done a liquidity grab. Okay, I just want to get this trading plan on just to show you the simplicity of what we're doing here. So we took the liquidity from the previous daily high up here. We've come back down. We've reversed through the area here, causing a break of structure. Okay, so that we've had the displacement, the break of structure. We look for a fair value gap. Okay, you can see we instantly got it here. Okay, now as we've come through, there's 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes later, we would have had an entry. And we have gone down to go to made it today's low. Now the target area, if I go back up to the 1 hour, your target area could be this area here. Okay, just need to take that magnet off. Your target area could be that blue there, because that was, as I see here, it is the open price of the previous day. Okay, but if we just take it where it's come to at the moment, go down to the 15 minute, go back down to the 1 minute. Okay, you can see we had a targeted price. And like I said, I'm just going to show you things that we could do to make this even better. This is a 1 to 6 that it's give. However, when you drill this in, there's a few things I'm playing with at the moment. You can see we've got the fair value gap here. Okay, now I'm testing and I'm sort of looking back on some data I'm collecting. And normally you would protect yourself to a swing. That would still give you a handsome return of 1 to 3.29. However, this was the candle of the fair value gap. I've been sort of practicing with the data and looking at a possibility where the fair value gap is, put it above the candle that, or the wick of the candle that has caused the fair value gap. So that 1 to 6 could potentially have came to a 1 to 7.56 on a return on this. Okay, so it's just, I need to collect enough data to see how much of this I can actually get as a winning trade, because we are sort of reducing the probability by doing it this way. But so far, so good. There's a lot of them do actually still play out, if that makes sense. And so I hope you're taking notes. So like I say, we run back on what we've just done. We've gone to the 1 hour. Okay. And as you can see, we marked out the today's high and the today's low, as you can see on here. But we don't have yesterday's high, previous daily high, higher than this. So there's been a takeout of liquidity here. That is on the first part of this here. And as you can see, so as we've taken out the liquidity here, so this would have been yesterday's high. There's been a takeout of the liquidity here. Like I say, you drop down to that 1 minute, you wait for a return or a change of character coming in. So we've made higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. We're starting dissipating here because we didn't get a liquidity grab here. So we came down, we've got a higher low, but within that range here, we come back up and we obviously double tap, but this was already outside of yesterday's previous high. We come down, got the breaker structure, and then from there we formed a fair value gap. We took an entry 3 minutes after that breaker structure, and then we rode this back down. Okay. Now at the moment you can see, let's get rid of this. You can see the yellow box is starting to form. So we are now into the London kill zone. Okay. Now I've been testing getting in on trades prior to the London Opens for like between 8, half 8, or 8, 9, or 7 and 8, or 7 till 9. But I ideally want to take the trade after the volatility and the volume comes into market. So again, I will sit on my hands until just after the 9 o'clock. What I can do is I can set an alarm. Create an alarm there, and I can create an alarm there. So this is going to tell me when we've had a crossover. Okay. And then from there, you can obviously set an alarm on the previous daily, but that will go into the context of a different method that we can use. So there's a method that we can use where you can be at the charts and not so much monitor it all the time, but be at the ready for when the alarm goes. And the latter one, which is the previous daily low and previous daily high, it's a good method where you do not have to be at the charts. However, you can be on your phone, have the alarm set, and come back to the trading desk when it goes off. You may not get as many entries on here, but the win rate and success rate of the previous daily high and previous daily low far outseeds the daily high and low, if that makes sense. So we've got this one set on the Euro USD. Let's go to the GBP USD and go back up to the 1 hour. Look at our markings. Okay, so we've got the previous daily, which is this grey line here, previous daily high, you can see here, and I've got the previous daily low, so we're within the range of yesterday's market. We bring it down to a 15 minute. Okay, so you can see the 15 minute, we've got today's high, today's low, and I'm just going to set the alarms on this one as well. And we'll also do it on the daily low. And we'll do it on the daily high. And that's it. That's my basket set for this morning. Again, we take that now down to the 1 minute. We can see, obviously, we're in that London kill zone. From here, you see midnight. Okay. Again, just to reiterate, midnight on the blue line just means it was the open price of when we come into the New York midnight hour. Okay. Now, I did try this yesterday with 3 pairs. It got a bit hectic. So today, I just want to go down to 2, see what it's like with 2. But so far, so good with the performance on this. You can see on here, we've had 4 trades and 4 wins. I did start this last week, but I didn't have this trading journal at hand. Now, last week I had 150 profit. So I took just over 1% of profit. I give quite a bit of it back because I was messing around with entries and exits far too much. So now going into this week where we've started afresh, I had the starting balance of $10,005.32. That was my starting balance of this week. And we grew it yesterday by a good 41 £41 we took, yes, or $41. So I grew the account to $46, $10,046.99. The profit loss so far on the account is $41.67. We gained around about a 0.42% gain yesterday. And I go back on this as well. I did not want to over risk or over leverage on the account. So if I did take a loss, it would have took the account into a negative balance, which would then give us an active drawdown. You can see on here on the equity line. I never got that. So we've still been above the head above the water, so to speak. Going on the dashboard, again, you can see 4 trades, 4 wins, 100% win rate. We've not had any red, like losing trades yet. Our monthly performance Sharp ratio is, let's just take a look. I do believe 3.6. So that's anything above 1 is fantastic. Okay, anything above 1 on a ratio is fantastic. It just means you've got your method and your plan in check. We've got a monthly performance. So this is giving me on a graph visual what we've taken so far during the month of January. We also have it broken down in here and on the winning trades, losing trades, and break evens. We are now starting to form an equity curve. And these are the pairs that I've traded so far this month with the GBP, GBPY, and Euro USD, which I've done yesterday. And this is the strategy, okay? ICT I've used. From there, you can see on here, we're starting to build the monthly strategy statistics. This will grow as we go along as well. Okay, guys. So that's the rundown on where I'm at, what I'm doing, and what we're looking for. Okay. Again, this dashboard and this Excel sheet is exclusive to everybody that is inside of our Discord community. And I've got another one coming out later on today, which is going to be for back testing. So again, if you want to be in this or you want this sort of stuff, you just need to reach out to me. We'll get you inside the Discord. But for now, I'm just going to pause the video and I'm going to wait until around about 9 o'clock, wait for the alarms to trigger, and then start trading once we get those liquidity grabs. So I'll just go back up to the 1 hour on this. I want to bring this into play here. Go back down to 1 minute. And then I've got my trading plan here. Okay. So again, guys, that's the rundown, the concise rundown, the steps, and the model to the plan that I'm doing. Okay. I hope you've took notes. If you want to, go back and rewatch this, because this is going to be a game changer for so many people. Okay. We'll pause the video. We'll be back in a short while. All right, guys. So I've had the today's low taken out, and it's just before 9 a.m. So again, I just want to wait until just after 9 a.m. If I'm honest with you, I don't want to be getting into a trade before the session open, albeit we are in the pre-open anyway. So again, we've had the liquidity grab, and it's like I say, it's taken out the 8:30 New York open from yesterday. So we've had a liquidity grab here. We've had a nice big displacement. So I'm just waiting for a couple of things. Just going to identify a few areas where we've got some imbalance. Like I say, I don't want to rush into the trade. Let's just see how this plays out up until just after the 9 o'clock. So we've got 5 minutes still to go. Just pre-open, see what happens with these fair value gaps, and we'll take it from there. We'll have a little look on the GBP USD. We're still stuck within the high low of today's range. It's just meandering about a bit. So again, when we look at this as a price action, we've got a bit of a fair value gap within that range there. And we've got a fair value gap within the range here as well. Again, I'm just waiting for a break of structure to the high side or the lower side at the moment. Go back to the Euro USD. And we'll see whether we take out today's lower here in a moment. So just bear with me. It is only 5 to 9. We'll be back in a short while. All right, so here we go, guys. Again, we've got today's low was taken out down here. I'm now looking possibly for a trade. I'm just going to mark up a high here. Just want to see if we got a break of structure on that. We can see we've taken the fair value gap there. We could head up and through this. There's the take on here. We're going to be touching at the fair value gap here. Let's just give us a second. We're into a new candle. See where we are on the GBP USD. Again, we're still ranging between these two fair value gaps within the range of the 15 minutes. I have added the GBP JPY with the fence posts, so to speak, but again, I've not set an alarm on that. I'm just taking an interest at the moment on the Euro, USD, and more so in this session here. 12 seconds for this candle, and we're bang on the liquidity line. We did take a little bit of a grab, excuse me, but we're coming back through. I would like to see a push to the higher side, to be fair. Again, there is the slimmest of slimmest fair values there, you know, but there's not enough displacement there for me to take an entry, to be fair. Even though there's been a liquidity grab here, you know, we still want to see a push to the higher side, to be honest. Again, 16 seconds, 15. You just need that little push. And this is just all about being visual. Okay. It's just about being visual and marking up your charts as you go along, you know. So we have taken out the liquidity here, but again, I want to see more of a push up. There's that imbalance there met. And you just see how fine this is, you know. It just came in, it's touched, bang into it. Again, you know what you want to see. You want to see price actually push through these areas like that. So now I can get rid of that. And we can see we've had a liquidity grab there. I mean, that there didn't want to enter it because there was too much of a fine thing on it. So the fair value gap would have took you to around about here. You could get basically a 1 to 2 on that if that pushed up. I mean, it did enter on the imbalance, you know, and based upon the structure points that I normally have underneath the fair value gap of the previous candle. We'll see if this would have actually touched out for a 2%. But again, it's all about liquidity grab and the displacement of prices. You need to have a good displacement of price to be able to have a more identifiable trade, to be fair. Again, this is easily a 1 to 1 at the moment. We're just going to see if it pushes to that 2% or not. But I ain't entering anything and jeopardizing anything unless I get a good, strong, signaled idea, you know. But there's no harm in when you see these fair value gaps sort of come into play on your kill zones. And when you get the liquidity grab, even if it's just a fine one, just mark it up and just to see if it would have played out. But you have to have these two definitely giving you a solid foundation block to work upon. And again, you look at how fine this is. I mean, you're talking about a 1 to 2 pip stop loss, you know, and will this actually go to actually give that 2%? It's a trade that I wouldn't normally risk if I was honest with you. Again, you can see I haven't entered it. We might come down and play through it. But if we do come through and take liquidity here, the next area for liquidity is these two areas here, you know. So here it comes. And it looks like I might have made the right decision. Yep, that wouldn't have played out. Again, that would be the next liquidity area, but you're only getting a 1 to 1 on that, to be fair. But again, if you move that up, it will be the halfway point of the mitigation of the fair value gap. You're looking at like a 1.5. I'll cancel this out anyway. Again, it would have to break through here to see that it hasn't sort of come to fruition or played out. It's going to come down and take a little bit of liquidity, I think, to be fair. Let's just see what happens there. It's pushed through that. So it was the right decision not to get in on that. Like I say, it's good to mark these up when they come into play. Let's just see where we've got today's low at the moment. Around about 37 pips away. So it looks as if at the moment, because we've had a range here, okay, we've had a bit of a range there. We had a breakout of this low, if you remember. We left a fair value gap behind. So the play for today may have been that was your entry because it's come back to the fair value gap. With that there, and then the run of play could have been this direction, you know. But again, we are waiting for the reversal back up in all fairness. Let's get rid of this. Pause the video. I'll be back in a short while. We're just going to have a look at the GBP, JPY first of all. We've took today's low on the GBP, JPY. And we're still stuck there, so we're going to bring this down. Bring this up to here. So the Euro USD, we've got a potential. The GBP, JPY, we've got a potential. The today's low is all the way down here. Again, I've got a fair value gap there. Short. Go back up to the 1 hour. Back down to 1 minute. That's 12 pips. Or 34 pips. I might enter this, to be fair. Get here. One more. Just going to tell her. So we'll risk that there. We'll get an entry on here. I wasn't going to enter on the GBP, JPY today. Simply because I think we may target the previous daily low now, to be fair. With that being said, we're on the Euro USD. I'll pause the video, guys. We'll be back in a short while. We'll see where we are with this trade in a bit. Right, looking on what we've got on this trade here, and it looks like it may fail to come back up. We've got two fair value gaps now. Like I say, I'm not massively overly confident in obviously what we've got with regards to this coming into play, simply because we're now coming lower. We've taken out obviously that today's low, and we've left the fair value gap here. But not only that, we've left a secondary one. So again, between the wick here and the wick here is a fair value gap, because price, let's just have a look at this. That's the fair value gap there. To the wick. And then we've got wick to wick here is a fair value gap as well. Price is sort of stalling at the moment, but my target would still be this down here. Again, hopefully we'll get some sort of reprieve, retracement back into it. Whether it touches into this one and then comes down, or whether it comes through and breaks through this to touch this and then come down, is what we are waiting to see the playbook, you know. So again, I've edged me bets towards the higher side, fair value. The GBP USD is just, it's ranging. basically. The Euro USD, I do have the fair value gap here. We've got today's low. Today's low was taken out from here. We may, on this one, we may just get a touch into this to then come down to target these areas on the lower side. Let's just have a look. But I'm going to leave this alone, this one at the moment, in case we get a break, touch, and then a bounce up back towards today's high. I'm happy. It just taken me time today, to be fair. Again, we didn't check the news today. The news, we've got Euro, CAD, and USD later on today. So the news isn't too bad. We've had GBP on the PPI this morning, which is probably why we're going to be getting some sort of range forming at the moment. Because we're just coming into, excuse me, we just started coming into obviously the 20 past 9 in the morning. Let's have a look at FX Street. Had news this afternoon. We've got the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. So some USD news later on today. Let's just go back to the chart. We'll start to form price to come back up here. And that's Euro USD. There's the touch, or not quite the touch, coming into the imbalance. Yeah, it's come into the imbalance just. It's mitigated into it. Now it's going to play through it, hopefully. Or it may continue down to the lower side. I mean, if I was going to go short and target for that low, you know, we've got the imbalance and then the candle up to its left. You've got a 1 to 2 there. But again, as we've taken out the low, I want to see a change of character and go to the higher side, to be fair, which is what we should have done on this one here, I think, to be honest. But again, we haven't gotten an entry on that either. Maybe took that down to today's low. Here comes a push. That must mean this is going to move in a minute. Still stuck in a consolidated area. You know, obviously I haven't ended this trade, you know. I'm just waiting to see what we get as a push on the imbalance on here, on the fair value gap. You can see I'm just marking up a few areas. So I want to see this go along, to be fair. Minimize this into here. What the GPY, it's slowly coming up into price. And like I say, when we talk about the fair value gap, we've got the first fair value gap. It's touched into that, but it hasn't come up to the second area just yet. Come out of that. Go back to Euro USD. put this above here, 10 pip. Just want to see where we are with regards to today's low, today's high. 50% is a mean. And just delete that. I might enter this as a trade on a sell, to be fair. 10 pip or a 40 pip. What about a GPP, GPY? 10 pip or 40 pip. I'll risk this because we've got some money to play with today. So we've got half of the risk played today. So if I go to at 0.10, so we do a 0.10 of a percent. Okay, we've got more or less just over 20 quid of risk, which is going to be half of the profits. We just see where we're going to go with this. I'm going to pause the video, guys. We'll be back in a short while. See if we get an entry coming into the higher fair value gap. I've got no doubt that this will possibly enter in a short while as well. We'll see what happens with it. I'll be back in a short while, guys. Right, so it looks as if we may have missed the entry, the optimal entry. Looks as if, because we've had, like I say, you wait for a shift in momentum. We had a break of structure from here, leaving two fair value gaps. It looks like the entry on this was going to be on that one there, on that fair value gap, which again, I would have possibly then have taken that to there, and then this to here. We could have just gotten the wrong entry on this, guys. You know, I'm going to leave this overlaid on there because obviously I was looking for the higher return, but it looks as if this one was going to be the player, and it looks as if it's going to take out that low at the minute. Again, we've got a new daily low as well, with that in mind. So it looks like we've missed the entry at the moment on that. The Euro USD, we might be taking a hit today, but again, this is good. This is good, simply because it's collecting data. You know what I mean? So what we'll do is we'll go back on the chart. Looks like we've certainly missed that trade today, but there's nothing wrong with that, simply because if this does take a previous daily low, there is a potential, which is another method I'm going to be implementing, trying to use. If we get a liquidity grab from a previous daily high or low, we can then look for that reversal to possibly go to one of a couple of areas on its reversal back up, either the 50% of the PDL and the PDH, or you could be looking at a full return to the previous daily high, you know. But again, that's another method that I'm going to be forward testing in good time. So it looks like we've possibly, it hasn't come down to that previous daily low yet, but again, it's been within, been within 9 to 10 pips, you know. So we hold out. We may still get a return back to this side, but again, if we're going to get this coming back within this range and taking out that intermediary high there, it's certainly going to start looking towards going back to the upside. So I may have to cancel this trade out soon. The Euro USD, like I say, I do have a level here. I've extended the stop loss as such because I would generally have the SL just above the fair value gap of the next candle, but I'm cushioning the play with regards to the higher side swing. Again, this may want to start returning back to the upside, if I'm honest with you. We're just looking for this range here, the swing, see if there's any sort of fair value gap, you know. There's a slight one there because you've had a break of structure coming up. We may get a return down, or it might just want to push through to go the other way. If this pushes through and takes me out and goes the other way and leaves a displacement behind with a fair value gap, I'll probably change the bias on this. But I'm holding structure as we are at the moment, and hopefully I've just left enough cushion here for this to play at the minute. We played through that fair value gap for sure. And at the minute we've got that where we broke through. See if it comes back down to play through. If we get a play into this and then it rockets off, so be it. But if we get a play and break through this, we might get the test and then we might come down. Again, we've got a today's low, but we're so close to the previous daily low, you know, where price had been from there down to there. Again, you're looking around about 30 pips, you know, but it might want to mess around with us today. GBP, GPY. Go up on the 15 minutes. Again, with regards to imbalance areas, you've got on the 15 minute, you've got one there. Go back down on the 1 minute. So that 15 minutes combined into that, you know, which is annoying because we could have gotten a good entry. Go back up the 15. Get rid of that. Come back down to 1. There's the touch into this fair value gap. Now, one or two things is going to happen. It's either going to springboard off that and go to the high side and start breaking these high structures, or we'll get a crash through it. It's just which one does it want to do? Because we've got so much liquidity residing underneath this previous daily low, I should imagine it will want to come down and take it, to be fair. We're going to go up to 15 minutes, see what the play is on here. See, we've got no fair value gaps in here on price action. And again, where we've got the today's low on here, we've got some sell side liquidity stops and that on here. And then the bigger picture, you've got a load of stops below here, you know. So we'll go back down to the 1 minute. See what that GBP is doing. So this here is the sell side liquidity based upon the today's low. And then obviously below here is the bigger picture of sell side. And this is where yesterday's low of the New York session went to. So again, previous daily low. We just want this to return down. Well, we are within a swing leg of the kill zone. So that there is the swing. We'll just highlight that as not orange. Goes with that, to be fair. Do that red. This is going to come and take us out now, guys. It's going to come and take us out. So what we've got here is the swing from more or less the open of the London down to the now low of the London. So it was stuck within the range. And I think it was a good idea to have the stop just above the range of that swing, because we would have been taken out if I used that previous right. If this takes us out, I'm going to trade it the other way. which is what the plan is, which it is what the business model and the trading plan is, to be fair, you know. So it looks as if we're going to get stopped out on this one. We've got 10 seconds left. 3 seconds. New candle forming. Now, will it hold or will it push through? Again, this is going to look a hot mess in a moment. Structure doesn't hold. That's 15 pips. 2.5. Just going to clear that there. There's this one into here. There's too many minutes from an entry on here for my liking for it to hold structure, to be fair. Getting high to that low. We'll come up with it. This would have been the optimal entry area, which is going to bounce, retest, and go higher, I think. Looks like we may be taking a hit today. First one on the account for this week. Price is slow compared to yesterday. We were pretty frantic this time yesterday. Here comes the take. I don't want to enter this other position yet. Hopefully it's going to hold, but I don't think it's going to. You can see it wants to push higher. Because we've played through, it's going to come back and test this fair value, I think. Damn thing. I want to pause the video, but again, I don't want to pause because I'm so close to that SL, you know. I want to be on here for when things happen. So again, I do apologize if this is sort of stringing out a bit, but I really want to be at the chart and have it recording as it happens, you know, just so when I look back on this on the weekend, because when I do these videos, I do genuinely go back and I watch what has happened during the little bit of session that I do on my trading. It's got to give a push. It's that there in itself, from that to that, it's a 3 pip consolidation zone. There's just no moving. That's what 6. I would do 8 pips. 8 pips. 8 pips for around about 14. Here it comes. Right, so I'm gonna go for the buy. $14. Should not have sold that, to be fair. Being risking 0.0. Just want to get rid of some of this lipstick that we have on now. We've got the fair value gap here. Get rid of that range. We'll get rid of that. Pull this along. That will be the entry. So we're tagged in. This could be dangerous, like I say, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll pause the video. We'll be back in a very short while, and we'll see where we are in a short bit. Just 2 seconds, guys. Right, guys. So today we've taken a loss on 2 trades. So I'm going to call it there. Again, looking back on what I can see so far until I watch back on my videos, we called this one a little bit too late. It would have went on for a nice 1 to 2, just about 1 to 1.9 in fairness. The euro USD is just simply not behaved the way I thought. I got in on a trade stupidly, to be fair, because when we do take the today's low and we look back on this on hindsight, okay, on the today's low, we do wait for that push to go up, whereas I tried to trade it to come back down on what we call the continuation, you know, but we didn't get that. I put the fair value gap here and tried to trade it back down. It went up. From there, the real trade, if I can sort of source it, has not come to fruition just yet, to be fair, simply because we've got no fair value gaps here to trade it back to the upside. The price efficiency's been pretty fluid throughout, you know. It's just one of them days. It is what it is. However, we have updated the system, and this is where I lie today. And again, this is good to forward test. It's good to take a hit, and the account balance has never really been in huge jeopardy because I'm still using proper risk management, still profitable, albeit we took the $5 odd up to $40 odd. We're back down to $25.62, and that will show in here $25.62. We've still got a gain on the account. The biggest the biggest loss at the moment's been around about $12. Largest win has been $18.60. Average loss, therefore, is around about $10. The average win is $11.41. So the maximum drawdown we've endured is a minus 0.20. That was on 2 losses today. Obviously, took 2 trades on a 0.20 and we lost them. We've done 2 long trades, 4 short trades. Average time in trades is roughly about 9 minutes. We can see the monthly stats. We've got $25.62, which coincides with this, and if we go on the paper trade, it coincides with that. We've got a ratio, a sharp ratio above 1 still, so we're 1.57. We've had 4 winning trades. We've had 2 losses, okay? So again, long trades, short trades, trade performance, 6 trades. We've won 66.7%, and we've lost 33.3% because of them 2 losses. The account balance, there's no real equity curve move on it at the moment because we're still just using minimal lot sizes when we are trading. Now you can see on the graph this working. We've got the wins to the losses in January. Monthly performance, that's the sharp ratio. As long as we keep this above 1, we're doing okay. We've got the account drawdown at the moment. That's what we've done today. That's today's account drawdown. So like I say, I don't really want to be going into risking 0.5% yet on this until I start building that little bit of an equity pool. So I don't want to get into another trade, if that makes sense, in case we lose it and we go into more drawdown. From there, we've got the accumulative profit to loss. Again, we had a little bit of a win the other day. We had a nice win yesterday. Today, it's come back down. The performance on the currency pair, we've got the GBP, USD, which was done as well. The GBP, GPY, again, in profit. And now we can see, because the Euro USD has cost us, it's starting to come in the minus a bit. Performance strategy is the ICT. Strategy stats, we are on a sharp ratio of 1.57. Monthly report, again, is just going to give you what we've done on a journal wise. It's going to tell you where we were starting. I think it was, let's have a look, 3094. Why is that on that? I don't know why that's updated there. Maybe that'll update in the next few minutes or so. I don't know. Should be instantaneous, to be fair. 2562 is where we are. In fact, that's the profit loss for today. I need to readjust the trading dash to get this to 2562. Bear with me. I'll be back in a second. My apology, guys. So we'll run back through this again, okay? The account balance is $10,025 and $62. $10,025 and $62. So that is now in conjunction. This is going to show us from here. We've got a profit at the moment of around about $20.30. Sharp ratio is still above 1, so that's okay. So the average win is around about $10.58. The average loss is $11. The largest win's $18. The largest loss was $13. Again, most consecutive wins, 4 most consecutive losses. There's 2, which we took today. Again, short trade, long trades, time and trade. We go to the strategy statistics, stays the same. It's 1.57. Monthly report is where we're at, okay? So now we've got $10,025.62. We've got a profit loss, and again, of $11.30 because we started $10,005 odd cents, I think it was. We've got a gain on the account of 0.11. We've got a win rate at this time of 66.67. Again, 1.6 sharp ratio. Time during being in trades, it's roughly about 9 minutes to 10 minutes. These are each trades that we've taken. Okay. And when we look at the account balance, the equity curve's not moving as such because we're not building the pot massively at the minute. We're just risking minimal risks. And this is what I like on this bit here. You can see the GBP USD, we've attained $9 of profit. The GBP GPY, 68 cents of profits. That's the one that we ended mistakenly yesterday. We took a nice win yesterday, the other day, $18 on the Euro USD, which was on a win. And then we've got the same on the GBP USD the other day, and then we've got a loss on both Euro and USD twice over. And then this is the strategy performance. This is the equity curve for the monthly. And then we've got the drawdown. We brought the account, or the drawdown for today, into around about just under 0.20, as you can see on here. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's it for the session today. I don't want to overly trade it. I might go on to trade another 1 or 2 pairs and update the sheet as I go along. I had an alarm go off earlier on. It was probably the Euro USD. Look at that. Now it's wanting to tank. Now it's wanting to tank. Typical. Not to worry. I think moving forward, what I need to do is obviously the strategy that I'm learning in hindsight. Like I said, I like to think out loud. So when I look back on these videos, I can get to see what I am doing. There is a time where we talk about price and time, you know, and there's a lot of time where it goes on about near the 10 o'clock time, between the 9:30 to 10 o'clock. Which again, if I put this onto the London session, you're looking what? There's half nine's over here. Okay, so we've had the breakdown. We've taken today's low. I don't want to take any more trades, to be fair. Taking today's low, and I think this is going to come down to the previous day low, the GBP USD. This I'm a little bit gutted with because, again, we didn't quite get that entry. Yes, we took 2 losses, but this would, if we got this trade, this would have stemmed what we lost this morning. It got a perfect entry on this fair value gap, and it's actually took out the previous day low. Excuse me. But the Euro USD so far is the one that is, like I say, affected us today. Not to worry. Stop the video here. I'm going to look back on what I've done this week towards the end of the week when I go into the weekend, and then see where I can sort of. With that in mind, what we've got is we've had a break of today's low. Okay. We've come back into an area where we've retraced back in, but then we broke structure again. So we've come up as a retracement, came down retracement, and then we broke this high here. Okay, we've left behind a fair value gap. So again, liquidity grab, we've taken today's low. Today's low is now down here. We've come back up, and then we broke structure with a little bit of a change of character. We're just about to get tagged in. Why is that not tagging in? Come on. That should be coming in. Now that says it's entered. Why is that not tagged in? Minimize this down. TradingView was playing up yesterday as well. That's definitely tagged in. I'll be annoyed if this doesn't go through. Anyway, what we've got is a fair value gap right about there. We've come in and we've tagged it. See, we're getting an entry this time. This pulls away now and goes for a 1 to 3. It'll be so annoying. Let's have a look. So we get tagged into this. Come on, it's going to move away, isn't it? And you can clearly see prices came into this area. Not just a little bit. It's actually tagged right into it. Again, this was up here. It did tag into it, into the buy limit order. And now it's going to move away. This will just about sum up the deal that I've had. Again, I want this to go 1 to 3. It's moved up. I'm not going to press the button to get into it now, to be fair, because I don't want it to come down at any more drawdown. I need it to be that area. It's just a risk I'm going to have to take, whether it's already done its entry or. But going by what I had, that should be an entry. I'll pause the video. We'll be back in a short while, guys. We'll see if this tags into entry. I'm very annoyed that this has not triggered due to that. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll not leave the station without us. Be back in a second. It's looking as if it's doing the exact same. Look. There we are. We're tagged in now. We're tagged in now. Must be, got to be spreads. Got to be spreads that's doing that. And now I'm going to get taken out. Let's have a look. Now we're heading into a little bit of profit. Hopefully we'll have this as a turnaround, to be fair. We'll have this around about there. See if we can get some of this profit back, some of this equity back that we lost this morning. I'll pause the video. We'll be back in a short while. We're meandering around about the break-even area at the moment. We're looking for this 1 to 3, albeit we are only risking about a 0.10%. If I get this target, then we'll actually be in profit for the day. We started the account today. Let's have a look at the dash. We've lost today. We've lost overall $13. Okay, so we've lost around about $13 overall, I think it is. That's the largest loss. Let's just see if I can actually find monthly report. So we've lost $22. We've lost $22. See if we can get that back on this particular trade. I'll pause the video. We'll be back in a short while. So far, so good. We are starting to recuperate some of that loss that we endured this morning. But again, I do want to hold out for this 1 to 3, to be fair. See if we can get it. Let's take a look. Settings. The account was trading journal, dashboard, 10,025.62, 10,025. 62. $10,025. 62. Risking 0.10. It's on here. See if I can get this worked out. 10.73. So if we win, then we should take this account up to 10,057.81. If we lose, we'll take it down to $10,014.89. Just want to see this whole structure. This will certainly take us into that little bit of profit that we were expecting. If I just bring this a little bit further down, you're on 46. So I do a 2.5 maybe. Bring the risk down a little bit more. See if we can attain that, because then that'll put us in a little bit of profit today. Go for, in fact, what would be a 1 to 2? 1 to 2. I'm going to go for the 2.5. 1 to 2.5 risk. Is what I'm going for. This will bring us into profits. I'll pause the video. I'll be back in a short while, and then we'll see if we are actually above what we started with today, guys. Okay, be back in a short while. All right, guys. So we're going to be coming into the lunch hour very shortly. So I'm debating on whether to close this out at the minute. Let's see. We'll get another little push. Right, let's just take a look. 1465, 1475. I'm going to close it out, guys. We're getting too close to the lunchtime hour. So I'll pause the video. I'll be back in a second. I'll update the sheet and then we'll come back on. Okay, so just bear with me. Right, so here we are, guys. We took 2 losses today. We brought it back. I got out at around about here. Okay, I got back at 1 to 1.95. Again, I'm only risking 0.10 of a risk. So the trading journal here, as we can see on here, that I'm just sticking with these lot sizes at the moment. Let's get this. Get that. Just bear with me, guys. I don't know why that's gone like that. Anyway, you can see over the last 2 or 3 days, I've used the GBP, USD, GBP, GBY, Euro, USD, ICT method, 1 minute. We've got entries. We've got stop losses, take profits. This calculates this part out. This calculates this part out. And it gives us overall what sort of drawdown we're in. Okay, so we took 2 losses today, and it put us into the drawdown from here, accumulative. Okay, I've now brought it back to just under a break-even point from where we started yesterday. Okay, so yesterday we were at before the 2 losses, we were at around about $47.62. We took 2 losses. I brought it back to 39, so I'm just a little bit under now. We go into the dashboard and we get a rundown. So 39.66 is the account balance. 39.66, so 10,039.66. Okay, from there, guys, you can see again we've got a win rate of 71.43% now. The ratio after them 2 losses earlier has went from a 1.6 odd up to a 3.1. So we've got the average win is $11.26. The average loss is just under $11. Largest win is $18. Largest loss is $13. 4 consecutive wins. Most consecutive losses is 2. Again, we've got maximum drawdown, long trade, short trades. Average time in trade 14 minutes. And as you can see on here, we've got the profit for this month, because that's where we started, $10,005.32. This is the profit for this month. Again, that's the Sharpe ratio. Winning trades 5, losing trades 2. We can see on here on the graph, that's what it's telling us. 5 trades is 1, and we've had 2 trades have lost so far this month. We've brought that drawdown of today back up a little bit, so we've more or less come back to a break-even keel. I'm sure if I take another 1 or 2 trades, I might be able to get this drawdown back into a break even. I do believe this is drawdown, which is that is relative. It's relative drawdown to the day. Okay, so yes, I've been in profit. I've had some drawdown, and then we brought some of it back. So this must be the daily relative drawdown that I'm doing. So again, risking very minimal, to be fair. So I'm on my previous day, I'm just under a 0.10% down, to be fair. From there, the monthly Sharpe ratio performance, we've got the accumulative profit to loss. So you can see we're starting to get that equity curve now, because we've endured some losses, and we're starting to see a curve build. From there, we've got GBP, USD, GBP, GBY, and Euro USD. This one's in the negative, which is to be expected. ICT trading performance. Again, we go to the statistics on the strategy. The Sharpe ratio has now come back up. If we go on to the monthly, it's going to give us a more diagnostic statistics. We've got GBP, USD give us $9 here. And as we total in currency pair, I've took nearly a $14 profit today with this. It's the Euro USD that is sort of our nemesis at this time. Again, you can see any of the wins to losers, account drawdown. We're not in drawdown overall. Just remember, this is the relative to the day. Again, starting to get some growth from the starting balance of $5 and whatever. We were up to 40 odd dollars. We took a couple of losses today, but then I brought some of it back. So overall, I'm glad I got back in on the trade, to be fair. We're starting to collect some good data. And from there, guys, like I say, 7 total trades, 5 wins, 2 losses, long and short on here. So this is a good data sheet, to be fair. Again, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Yes, we've taken a couple of losses, but I decided to get back on the trade because as I ended the video, I got an alert on the GBP USD, and it was at an optimal entry area. So we got in, we triggered, and we clawed some of that profit back. Going back on what we're saying, it looks like I got out at the right time. Again, I wanted a 1 to 3. I closed out at just below a 1 to 2. So it looks as if it's been a right decision because, like I say, we're now coming into the London lunchtime, which is like a dead area, like a no man's land. And at the moment, we are New York time. We are at around about 6:30 in the morning. So as we get towards 2 o'clock, the New York Open will come in. I might have a little look and play around with some trades later on this afternoon. It just depends. But again, I want to take this slow. I want to take it simple. I want to take it easy because, again, this is a completely new style of trading and method to me. I'm not normally used to having these small stop losses, if I'm honest. I normally like to have a larger stop loss, but I stage an entry. So I do a rollback system based upon my other stuff, which, again, this is a prime example of one the other day that I set up into the group. We come down, and as we triggered, we had a stage 1 entry, stage 2, triggered both of those. We come back into profit. So as it comes up to come into these TP areas, you're not only getting from entry to whatever profit, you're getting your triggered staged areas. So it's a quicker way of getting profits, even if you get a bad turn on your trading. But that's all inside of the Discord, to be fair, guys. Again, like I say, if you're enjoying the stuff I'm putting out there, we missed out on a trade this morning on the GBP JPY. We had the wrong sentiment on the fair value gap. This one played out at a 1 to 2. The trade actually went on to do nearly 1 to 4. Actually did do a 1 to 4, to be fair. It has broke below the previous daily low, but the trade in this strategy with a daily low taken, it's a whole new concept, which is something I will need to add into here for when we're doing the strategy stats and things like that, to be fair. But all in all, really pleased with the results. The Euro USD has gone down to take. It's come through the fair value gap of the today's low, and it's going to head down towards these previous daily low. Maybe the Euro USD might be coming back on an upturn going into New York session. We don't know. We'll have to come back and find out on the New York Open, to be fair. But again, guys, that's been me going through my session this morning. I hope you've taken notes. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, I'm not here to be perfect. That's not what it's all about. It's about understanding a new concept, a new method, and hopefully if I show something that is giving you a light bulb moment, then that is fantastic. Okay, so I shall see you all later.